Hi there, my name is Sandy Zimmer. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this slimline card using these little stinkers from our May Stamp of the Month. The Stamp of the Month set is S2305 and you can only get it in May. So here is a look of that stamp set. It has these 5 adorable little skunks on it. It's got some mushrooms, it's got a stump, it's got some flowers and some great sentiments. So I have gone ahead and I've stamped these little skunks on white daisy using my black intense ink, Z4189, and then I've just fussy cut them out. They're pretty easy to cut out. The Stamp of the Month does not come with a thin cut, so you do need to fussy cut them if you want to create a card like this. Otherwise, you could just stamp them on your project. It's kind of nice because you don't have to do a lot of coloring if you're not somebody who likes coloring. So here I'm using the bright pink shades, Z2495, that is the tri-blend marker. And of course our tri-blend markers come in a 3-piece. So on that same marker, it's got a light, a medium, and a dark for your shading pleasure. So you can change it up as you go. This one is the gold brown blend, Z2479. And that's also what I use to color that little stump. I also use the citrus green blend, and that is Z2484 for the leaves. And I'm using this green turquoise blend as well for the flowers, Z2488. And I'm just sort of selecting which ones I want to do in each color. I thought it would be fun to do several bright colors for this card because I really wanted it to be bright and cheery. So I do have this sped up, but you'll see me color each of these flowers quickly here. And it's pretty easy to do. The little space there is pretty tiny, so it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So there's the first one, and then you can see that little stump that I've colored up. I'm also using the orange blend, Z2480 for this. And I'm going to do a few of those in orange as well. Of course, you can do them in your colors of choice. You'll see here in a little bit, right underneath that little skunk's nose, there's a little bit of white showing. So I'm going to use the True Black marker to fix that. Right now I'm using that gold brown blend just to add the centers of the flowers. And there's that black, and I can just make a few wisps with the black there and it's totally fixed up. You'd never know that I didn't quite stamp well enough. So I Smell a Birthday is the sentiment I'm going to use in a little bit, but I've also decided to stamp 3 of these little flowers out. And I've cut that one little sprig off of one of them, just so that those 2 flowers look a little bit different. So now I'm using the slimline card fronts here, and that is X257. Pardon me. Of course, our cards come with the cards and the card bases, as well as the envelopes to match. So this is kind of fun because it's a little bit of a longer, narrower card. So here I have my distress oxides. I've got my mustard seed, Z3830, and I'm using my mini blending tool, Z3886, with the domed ink blending foam, Z4574, and just spreading that yellow around in the middle. Then I'm coming in with a candy apple, and this time I've just chosen to use the blender brush, Z4572, and you get 3 of those in a pack. And they're also easy to wash out, especially with this distress oxide, and then you can change the colors pretty easily. I'm coming back in with that dome brush and just blending those colors together. And now I'm going to come in with that blue, and I'm going to go around the top to sort of create sort of a sky there. I'm also going to add a little bit at the bottom and blend that into the yellow. So of course, blue and yellow make green. So that's sort of starting my foreground there. And then I will also come in with that mowed lawn Z3832 with the distress oxide for the actual ground at the bottom, the grass. So the great thing about distress oxides is they react with water. So I'm going to spritz some water on here, create some little dots, and then I'm just going to come in with a dry cloth, Kleenex in this case, and just lift that off. and it just creates an interesting look. So now I'm using the Z6093, the card front stencil, and I'm just showing you what comes in that stencil pack. And I decided to go with this kind of interesting shaped one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer it over my card front, and I'm just going to dab with a wet one. And you could totally use just a wet cloth as well for this technique. Now I do have it right on the card front. It's not on additional paper. So I want to be careful to not get it too wet so that it doesn't buckle and bend too much. But you can see how it lifts that color off a little bit and creates another dimension and a little bit more interest in my card front. So I decide I want to just take a little bit more off and go a little higher. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'll lift it up and give you a look at that in just a second. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now I have my little skunks here ready to go in my stump. You can see off to the right-hand side there, I have sort of laid them out and decided how I kind of wanted to do them. And now I'm just going to pop them onto my card front. I already have some glue on the back of those ready to go, and I'm just cutting a little bit of them apart so that I can sort of intertwine them together. So when I pick up my scissors, you'll see that that's what I'm doing, and just sort of stacking them there for a nice interest. When I saw these guys, I thought they would look so cute just stacked up like that. So on this one, I'm just cutting between the arms there, and I'm taking that flower, and I just want to put it in between his hands to, look like he's holding on to it. I thought, well, I'm going to cut that apart just a little bit on the flower as well, just to really make it look like he's holding on to it. And slide that in there. And then I'm going to put him at the top of the pile. I just love these little characters. They're so adorable. So there's that one last flower with the sprig, and I decide to put that down at the bottom with the stump. And I'm loving how this is coming together. I go back in and I grab that sentiment. I smell a birthday. I'm going to use my intense black ink and stamp it in the upper right-hand corner there. I decide I'm going to just lift off that last little guy just to make sure that I don't stamp on him. Put my sentiment on, just hold it for a second so it can transfer. And then I'm just going to slide him back in there. So that intense black ink is really great for on top of this Distress Oxide, especially because my paper is a little wet. So it handles that quite nicely. Now, of course, if you know me, you know that I'm going to do a little doodling around the outside. Seems to be my trademark lately. And if you don't like the first line that you created, add 2 lines, because then you can cover up the mistakes of the first. So just going all the way around here with that black journaling pen. I'm really loving how that's coming together, but I decide I want a little bit of sparkle. So I come in with my diamond stickles, the Z3563, and just add a little stickles to the middle of all of those flowers. And I'll also add a little bit here and there on the card front, just for a little bit more shimmer and shine and a little more continuity with those flower centers. And I usually do dots of 3. I'm going to do 3 dots across the top there as well. It's a little hard to see on camera there, but they sure do look cute. Now I'm going to use this silver paint pen. They come in a pack of 3, Z4580. And I'm just going to put some dots in the eyes there just to bring those to life. And then I decide to add a couple of dots here and there as well, sort of right alongside of where I did those diamond stickles, just for a little bit more shimmer and shine. All right, there's a close-up look of that. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Again, my name is Sandy Zimmer. If If you're interested in purchasing any of these products, you can go to sandyzim.closetomyheart.ca. Ring that bell to subscribe and you'll get a notification when I post something. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, like and share it. Let your friends know I'm here. And here's a close-up look again of that card. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.